Right now on WCNC Charlotte at 11, heartbreak in the Queen City. The community coming together, remembering the life of a 3-year-old boy and asking for answers in this senseless death. Asaya Figueroa shot and killed while he was sleeping inside his home.
Here's a look at a vigil for him earlier this evening. We will share what happened at this event in just a moment. But first, we want to verify the facts. We know there's a lot of speculation and questions surrounding this shooting. Let's take you through all that we know. Asaya died overnight after officers say a group of high schoolers fired about 150 shots into his home on Richard Rosell Drive. His 4-year-old sister was injured.
Police believe those teens have ties to Hopewell High School, North Mecklenburg High School, and Chambers High School. Now, one thing we are still working to learn, if this shooting was gang related. CMPD says that is something it is actively investigating. The department says it's pursuing leads and will be evaluating that angle to see if that is the case.
The shooting was all caught on a doorbell camera. We warn you, what you are about to see is graphic, but we're showing you so you can understand just how chaotic this scene was. As you can see here, cars pull up on the street. Once that happens, people get out, and then they start shooting. That gunfire lighting up the night. You can see there lots of shots rattling off.
WCNC Charlotte's Ashley Daly has been at that home all day, where there is now a growing memorial.
Yeah, not only is the memorial for Asaya growing here outside his home, but today neighbors in this community, as well as community advocates against violence, gathered here to surround the little boy's mother, father, and grandmother in love. They also had a message for those responsible. In the blink of an eye, a mother and father's worst nightmare became a reality. 3-year-old Asaya Figueroa was asleep in his bed at his home on Richard Rosell Drive in Northwest Charlotte Tuesday night when gunfire erupted. CMPD says nearly 150 bullets were sprayed into his home, killing Asaya and injuring his 4-year-old sister. The sound of that gunfire may never be forgotten, but today, if only for a brief time, it was silenced, replaced with sounds of a community rallying together against the violence. There was prayer.
God, we're sick of it, we're tired, and we need you to show up even right now.
Then a balloon release. Asaya's father so overcome with emotion, one by one, the men surrounded him, giving him the strength. Asaya's mother was also there, heartbroken and sobbing, at times finding it hard to stand. The community not only showing their love and support for the family, but speaking out against the violence.
I'm asking for all parents around the world to start taking responsibility of their children's actions, because it comes from home.
CMPD says they believe the shooters could be teenage students connected to 3 Charlotte high schools, including Hopewell, North Mecklenburg, and Chambers, formerly Vance.
What we have to start doing is the grassroots part of this work, and that's being here and knowing what's going on and keeping our ears to the streets and really working with these young people, because they're going to be adults one day if they live to see it.
CMS tells me they'll continue to have added security at both North Mecklenburg High School as well as Hopewell High School throughout the remainder of the week. Reporting in Northwest Charlotte, Ashley Daly, WCNC Charlotte.
Thank you, Ashley. And sadly, Asaya's death is just one of several violent incidents happening in the Queen City in just the past few days. Police say there have been other related shootings leading up to this one, so we wanted to break down the timeline here. Our timeline begins Sunday night. That's when somebody shot and killed 16-year-old Jalen Xavier Foster. That happened in the 9700 block of Trinity Road. 2 others were hurt. The next day, Monday, September 6th, CMPD arrested a 14-year-old for Foster's murder. Fast forward late Tuesday around midnight, somebody shot into a house in the 5300 block of Kiev Drive. An hour later, a drive-by shooting at a home on Joe Morrison Lane. And that same night, a house shot into on Billingsville School Court, followed by another drive-by at a home on Mayor House Court. That night of violence culminating with more than 100 shots fired into a home on Richard Rosell Drive, killing 3-year-old Asaya Figueroa in his sleep.
In another horrifying Charlotte case still open right now, the search continues for a man police say murdered a woman he didn't even know. Officers considered him armed and dangerous. That man is Malik Moore. CMPD says he is wanted on murder, kidnapping, and assault charges for incidents around the Noda neighborhood. Police also telling us he's a person of interest in a Greensboro homicide. CMPD says if you see Moore, stay away from him and call 911 immediately.
And even more violence in the Queen City tonight. CMPD says one person is dead and a second person is fighting for their life after a shooting in West Charlotte. This happened around 3 this afternoon. Police say that shooting happened in the 1700 block of West Boulevard. The victims were able to drive to this Walmart on Wilkinson Boulevard. It's about a mile away. They both went to the hospital, but one person did not survive.
Turning now to weather, here's a live look over uptown Charlotte this evening. Currently, it's about 74 degrees. Not too bad for the Queen City this time of year.
Considering, too, the feels like it's also 74. Yeah. Meantime, though, we were also tracking some storms rolling through. Earlier this evening, this is a look at some lightning that a viewer sent us from Lincolnton. So thanks so much for sending that in to us. Brad's tracking everything for the forecast tonight. Are we getting rid of the umbrellas?
Probably by tomorrow, but tonight we still have some lingering storms. A view down at Rock Hill. We're looking off towards the west. We've got some breaks in the clouds, but we've got some big time storms that have been pretty stationary in northern parts of Iredell, Davie, and Rowan County. Now, this flash flood warning includes a very small section of Iredell and Rowan County, but the heart of this is right there in Davie County till 2 o'clock in the morning. Look at some of these rainfall totals. Almost 6 inches of rain has fallen just west of Moxville, 2.5 to 3 inches from Turnersburg up towards Eagle Mills. So some flash flooding there. Please do not drive into standing water. That is a slow moving storm. Other showers still lingering to the south are beginning to wane a little bit. These are all pushing east only at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, so they're really not moving all that much. Now, there is a cold front right there. It's getting closer. It'll arrive midday tomorrow, but until it gets here, we're going to keep some rain chances in the morning. So we could wake up to rain again tomorrow morning, but look at this. By the afternoon, skies will clear, winds will swing around to the north, and look at those temperatures, barely getting back to 80 degrees with low humidity. Coming up, we're going to talk about this dry stretch of weather and the latest on Tropical Storm Mindy, which made landfall tonight, believe it or not, in the panhandle of Florida.
All right, Brett, thank you. New tonight, Mecklenburg County adding more layers to its indoor mask mandate, and it could impact how you take part in Sunday service. The county voting to include a mask mandate for religious ceremonies. It comes as COVID cases and deaths are worsening. WCNC Charlotte's Brianna Harper breaks down this latest decision and when it takes effect.
In a 5-4 vote, commissioners said yes to include religious gatherings in its indoor mask mandate here in Mecklenburg. But the hesitation arose whether or not this could potentially cross the line when it comes to church and state.
When we get to the point that we want to challenge the church on what they can and can't do, given the fact that there's so many different religions, I think we're going down a slippery slope.
But along with the resistance came some support, citing community health and safety as the main priority.
Wearing a mask does not stop anyone from worshiping, and it does not hinder anyone from worshiping. And so I feel like that's a conflation that isn't proper. And so I support this amendment in the support of public health.
An update from Health Director Gibby Harris also highlighting some of the COVID struggles still ahead, including an average 13% positivity rate and hundreds of hospitalizations.
Labor Day last year, we were in better shape than we are now.
Deaths from June to August also increased tenfold, and data shows overall 96% of the total deaths were unvaccinated people. The county's still making it its mission to increase COVID-19 testing and vaccinations wherever they can. So far, 58% of the population is partially vaccinated. The county's amended indoor mask mandate, including places of worship, will take effect 10 days after the new rule is officially posted. Brianna Harper, WCNC, Charlotte.
Thank you, Bree. We've got an update here. Some new concerns tonight over masking policies in Iredell Statesville schools. The district's public information officer telling us tonight the district has received more than 800 mask waiver forms. Now, these forms allow parents to keep their kids mask-free, even despite of the mask mandate in place. At first, anyone could sign the form, but now the district says that a medical professional must sign it. The district adding that this should cut down on the number of forms that it's getting. The latest COVID dashboard shows 260 students have COVID and close to 2,500 are quarantining due to close contact. COVID clusters in North Carolina have nearly doubled over the last week. And a reminder here, a cluster is at least 5 cases believed to be linked through timing and setting. So this latest report regarding schools shows NCDHHS is tracking 47 K through 12 schools in our area that are seeing outbreaks. And we'll remind you too that last week when we told you about this, there were 26. So like we said, close to double that count. Today, the agency warns there's been a particular surge in athletics related clusters, which make up just under half of the clusters reported in middle and high school. Now here's a breakdown of the ones that we are seeing, which schools in which counties are being impacted. As you can see, Rowan is still in the lead with the most schools seeing those clusters, but we're also tracking in our area the largest cluster in the state. That's actually going to be Union Academy Charter. This was the largest last week too, but this time there are 111 cases reported among students and staff. If you would like to see the full list, all of the actual schools listed in the number of cases, I've tweeted that out and you can find that on my Twitter account.
New tonight, we are hearing from another profession feeling the impact from the surge in COVID cases, coroners. As South Carolina reaches a grim milestone, almost 11,000 COVID-19 deaths, some coroners in the state say they're struggling to find the space to store the dead.
A lot of hospitals that do not have adequate morgue storage, and with the number of deaths that they are seeing, they are not having the proper locations to store the decedent, so they're asking for refrigerated trailers to help with that.
And just to put this into perspective for you, DHEC says during the last 5 days, there were 214 COVID deaths across the state.
We have a consumer alert for you tonight. You're going to want to keep an eye out on your inbox for this. There's an email claiming to come from the IRS, and it says you've got a third round of stimulus payments coming to you. The IRS says this is a scam. The agency says this email is going to look legit too. It's going to have the IRS logo and a claim my payment button. Don't click it. It says unless the sender's email address has @irs.gov at the end, it is a fraud.
And for those asking where's the money, the answer could be at the airport. Charlotte Douglas International is hiring. The airport is looking for full-time, part-time, and seasonal employees across several different positions. It's holding a job fair next Saturday. That's September 28th at Bojangles Coliseum. That's happening from 9 a.m. to noon. Masks are required for the event. Still to come tonight, as more businesses and even some events are requiring proof of COVID vaccinations, some online are claiming the vaccine card is a HIPAA-protected document. But does that policy protect your privacy in these cases? Tonight, our Verify team lays out the answer. Next.
And we're looking at a flash flood warning for a small section of Rowan and Iredell counties, really in parts of Davie County. Coming up, I'll show you when these storms will finally move out and the drier air moves in.
Right now, President Biden getting ready to lay out a new strategy to get more Americans vaccinated against COVID-19. He's expected to announce a 6-point plan tomorrow, including public-private efforts to get shots into more arms. The president is also expected to address plans for booster shots. He's also been under pressure to offer more guidance for schools with thousands of unvaccinated students now back in the classroom, and many states like South Carolina banning mask mandates.
COVID vaccine mandates becoming more common, as we're seeing, and as more businesses and workplaces require the shot or even request to know your vaccination status. New claims online say your vaccination card is a HIPAA-protected document. Tonight, Evan Kozloff verifies whether that policy indeed protects your privacy in these instances.
When it comes to COVID-19 vaccines, there's a lot of misinformation out there, and that's why the Verify team focuses on the facts. You may have seen a tweet like this on social media that says that a vaccine card is a HIPAA-protected document. So let's verify. Is a vaccine card all by itself a HIPAA-protected document? Our sources are the Department of Health and Human Services and Kate Spector-Baghdadi, who's a lawyer and bioethicist who is also the Associate Director at the University of Michigan's Center for Bioethics and Social Sciences in Medicine. Let's start with HHS. Back in 1996, decades, it set national standards and privacy rules that protected your sensitive health information through the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or HIPAA. According to HHS, HIPAA rules only apply to covered entities like doctors, hospitals, and insurance plans. Basically, it's that they can't share your personal health information without your permission. Kate Spector-Baghdadi says that HIPAA does not protect your medical information from anyone at any time, and your vaccination card is not a HIPAA-protected document. She says medical information is only HIPAA-protected if a healthcare provider, health plan, or associate is holding it. For example, if your doctor has your vaccination information, he or she cannot share it with other people without your permission. But this does not prevent other places like restaurants or stores from asking you for it or from telling you that you can't come in without showing it. So we can verify that no, your vaccine card on its own is not a HIPAA-protected document.
There you have it. Let's turn now to the weather. Busy night in the forecast this evening with thunderstorms rolling through part of our area.
Yeah, what are we tracking now, Brad?
Yeah, a couple more of those still out there. Not everybody saw rain. We knew these be scattered today, and it's really the definition of these hit or miss afternoon and now evening thunderstorms, because we've got one that has really been hammering Davie County. Now, I'll tell you honestly, there was some really heavy rain in parts of Iredell County. Had a couple viewers comment that the storm was stationary for a while there, a couple inches, but it's been a lot worse over in Davie County. Still some lingering showers down there in Rowan County, but we're approaching almost 6 inches of rain. So dangerous flash flooding going on in Davie County. If you're heading over that way overnight or early morning, do not drive into water. Now, there is some heavy rain down into Rowan County, moving down into Mecklenburg County, some light rain from Huntersville, Cornelius, Davidson, back down towards the airport, and then just some broken showers that are kind of falling apart in York and Chester County right now. This is pushing to the east. The cold front's still back to the west, and because the atmosphere is still pretty unstable, until that front clears, we're going to have a chance of rain overnight. Now, the risk for severe has gone down. I would say it's almost back to zero now, even as we get into the overnight hours, but slow moving storms could be an issue through the early morning hours. This is 7 a.m. The front somewhere in here, so it's kind of a gloomy start to your Thursday. You're probably going to say, oh, it's an ugly day, but by mid-afternoon, that front starts to push out, and boy, the atmosphere is going to change over. We're going to see north and northeast winds. That means really dry air, so dew points plummet into the 40s and 50s. It'll feel great. We'll actually have some breezy conditions. Next couple of mornings, Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning, could be in the 50s. Now, Tropical Storm Mindy made landfall tonight, but it really was just a big rainmaker for Florida. It's gone almost as quickly as it gets picked up by the front. High pressure builds in. So as nice as last weekend was for Labor Day, the next couple of days are going to look very similar with lower to mid 80s and again, low dew points. There was Mindy, very impressive on the radar. Didn't look impressive on the satellite, but you see the little swirl just east of Panama City, Apalachicola area, moving inland tonight or just around 10 o'clock. Winds are just barely at 45 miles per hour, but it's flying. It's moving northeast at 20. So by tomorrow, it's already off the southeast coast, gets caught up in that same cold front that's going to give us the great relief here, pushes it out to sea where it falls apart. So really a non-issue for most of us. We need some rain. We're at the point now, the next 5 days, there's not a lot of rain in the forecast. Tomorrow morning's about it. And again, that 30% is probably a little over optimistic, mainly in the morning hours. After that, it is bone dry around here for the foreseeable future, not only from rainfall, but the dew points. At least this will feel good. Dew points in the 50s and 40s, so really dry air as we go through the next 5 days. Update on Hurricane Larry, way out there again. No concern for us. Going to miss Bermuda, go way up into the North Atlantic, and really overall, it's just been a big wave maker and a rip current risk for the coast. We've got high rip current risk again tomorrow for all of the North and South Carolina coast. I don't know why the Outer Banks aren't in there, but that should be under a high risk as well for tomorrow. Now, for most of us, morning clouds and showers. Get out of here real quickly in the morning. Lower 80s to upper 70s in some spots. The temperatures will feel better as we get towards the evening because those dew points begin to plummet. Here's the 7-day forecast. Look at those morning lows. Upper 50s for Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning. We get back into the low 90s early next week, but look how dry it is as well. There's not a lot of rain in that forecast until the end of next week. So a pretty dry stretch of weather here for the middle and beginning of September.
All right, sounds good. Brad, thank you. You knew tonight you can help welcome home troops from Afghanistan and say thank you to those service members. Fort Bragg reaching out to the community to help put together welcome home kits. So these kits are going to have basic necessities, things like bedding and laundry, hampers, even snacks. These will help troops get back to the barracks without having to rush to unpack. If you're interested in helping out, there are wish lists on Amazon where you can select items to purchase right now, and we do have a link to that wish list on our website, WCNC.com.
Could the Carolina media get Sam Darnold to say anything bad about his old team before they visit this weekend? Well, they tried. See if the quarterback bit. Next in sports.
Well, ahead of facing his old team this weekend, Panthers quarterback Sam Darnold did with the media what he's supposed to do on the field. Take what they give you, stick to the basics, and don't turn anything valuable over. The Jets come to town Sunday to open the season, and it's no secret it was no picnic for 3 years for Sam Darnold in New York. It was pointed out to him, in fact, that this is not quite a regular game.
But it is. No, honestly, I mean, we're all excited in the locker room to just play football. You know, play in front of a crowd, especially here in Charlotte. Just to have the fans back, first of all, I think that's amazing, and we've all been looking forward to it for a really long time. And yeah, I'm excited to play.
Well, Darnold said he needs to take a hit to feel like he's good to go again. Not sure Coach Rule loved hearing that, but Christian McCaffrey will take plenty as he hopes to play a full 17-game season. That's why he did not play at all in the preseason after missing 13 games in 2020.
Hopefully you don't get hit. I mean, that's the goal. No, I mean, you know, obviously it's always the first hit, you know, of the game kind of gets you going a little bit. But you know, we practiced really physical. We had 2 joint practices and had a lot of contact in those, and our team practiced really hard, but nothing like live football.
And we'll get that Sunday. Meanwhile, the Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2020 finally inducted this afternoon in Cooperstown. It consists of the late player rep and advocate Marvin Miller, as well as Cardinals catcher Ted Simmons and National League All-Star outfielder Larry Walker, and of course the captain, Yankees legendary shortstop Derek Jeter.
You have a dream, you believe in that dream, and you surround yourself with people who are going to encourage you, support you, challenge you, be honest with you, and help nurture that dream. It started with my family, but it included so many more.
All right, drama between the Braves and Nats. Juan Soto's beef with Atlanta reliever Will Smith continuing yesterday. So tonight they go at Freddie Freeman twice in one at-bat. Sean Nolan was tossed. Freeman and Soto, they know it's all part of the game, but so is this. Soto is so good. His 25th of the year breaks a 2-all tie in the 7th. And check this out. He's going to blow a little kiss to Smith out there in the bullpen. Drama continues. Nats win this one 4-2. We'll be right back.
And welcome back. We want to remind you, if you've been thinking about adopting a pet, now could be the time to finally do it. WCNC Charlotte is teaming up with NBC to help clear the shelters. Several local organizations are participating too. If you want to find your new best friend or just support the mission financially, we have more information at WCNC.com/cleartheshelters.
And for those folks who already have their forever friend, how's the dog walk going to look like?
You know, in the morning, you might want to bring the umbrella and be ready to wipe those paws off, because even though temperatures will be nice and cool tomorrow, we're likely going to see some rain in the morning. I think that's the best chance. Some of these rain chances early on are highest, but as we get into the afternoon, they go back down to 0, and that's also when we're going to see the sun come out. So the best chance of rain will be early tomorrow morning. After that, we start to dry out. 7-day forecast. Some of these mornings are going to be spectacular, with 50s for lows, the afternoon highs in the 80s, but a warm up next week. And one thing you see here, or actually you don't see, is not a lot of rain. After tomorrow morning, dry all the way maybe until the following weekend. We could use some rain around here.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Brad. And thank you for staying up with us. Jimmy Fallon is next.
I love Brad's tip of wiping the dog's paws off. That's so sweet. Have a good night.
Download the WCNC Charlotte News app. Powered by the #1 TV news website in Charlotte, WCNC.com.